Hey guys, I'm Ray, and we are streaming blacksmithing. I'm still sort of kind of putting things up and together a little bit, but welcome to the stream. Give me just a moment to get my apron on and headphones, because I've already got the fan on and it is stupid hot. So, we are under a heat advisory again today. But I didn't want to skip the stream. So today we are going to set up my mini forge in hopes that it does not generate as much ambient heat as the big forge. So I thought that this would be a great opportunity to kind of take a closer look at a gas forge and all of the different parts of its burners and everything. So, man, these are filthy. So, I figure that's what we do today. That way I don't have to turn on the forge just yet. And you guys get to see some cool stuff. Hopefully. All right, I can hear a little bit better. That's good. Okay, so welcome to the stream, everybody. And so, like I said, we are still under a heat advisory. It's a little bit too hot to be out here, but I'm going to be out here as long as I can be. If I look over, okay, so I need to stand around here, maybe. Cool. So, like I said, we are under a heat advisory, and unfortunately, it's a little bit hot out here. So I have a lot of water over there, and we are going to, stay as hydrated as possible. If there is at any point it starts getting too hot or I start to feel a little dizzy or anything like that, I will end the stream prematurely. But we're going to play it by ear. I really wanted to hang out with you guys today, so I figured we will get started. Let me move the computer a little bit so I can see you guys' comments a little bit. Okay. And then, so we started a little bit later because I was looking for a caliper, and because I really want to give you like some sizes of the pieces for this particular mini forge. But I cannot find my caliper anywhere, so I have this lovely square, and I'm going to do the best I can to give them to you. This right here is a imperial standard ruler. So I'm going to grab my cell phone in just a little bit and pull up Google so we can start translating the inches into centimeters. And we'll kind of take a look at things. So let's do that. So it is, like I said, it's kind of crazy warm in here today. And so I'm already sweating. There we go, Google. Inches to centimeter. Conversion. And it's apparently going to take extra effort for the phone to get there. But it looks like we're starting up an ad anyway, so it can wait. So yeah. Let's see. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my record function, because today what I really want to do is kind of do a half product review, half parts of a gas forge video for YouTube. So we're going to attempt to do that. I'm going to do my best to record it, and edit it up for, you know, the coming weeks for one of the YouTube videos that we do. So today's YouTube video, and I guess we're on ad time right now. So I guess I will walk around and hit record real fast and then welcome in, ping, and then by the time I finish that, we should theoretically be done with the ad. So let me hit the record button and the record button. Awesome, jawsome. So, it looks like the ad is almost finished up, but not quite. So like I said, we are going to be making a half product review, half parts of a gas forge video for both YouTube and for you guys. You guys get to kind of help me make this video, kind of produce it a bit. And we'll see how it turns out. So the video that I posted this morning, I posted one up on YouTube. It is the interview with Nate Weiss. Nate Weiss. He is a blacksmith out in Jacksonville, Pennsylvania, I think. He works for the Center for Metal Arts, and yeah, it's a great place to learn about metal in general. So you guys should check that out. I think it turned out pretty darn good. So he was one of the demonstrators at the Indiana Blacksmith Association conference, and yeah, I had a great time talking with him. He's really cool. He's got some really amazing pieces, and he sent me a few of his portfolio photos so you can kind of see a little bit of his work. So like I said, today we are going to be doing a kind of a crossover video and or stream, I guess, too. So this right here is the mailbox. So I'm gonna spin it around for the mini camera, and then I'm gonna kind of show it to you guys from the big camera. And then, oh, are we using the little forge? Yes, we're definitely using the little forge today. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. All right, so I'm gonna switch us to this camera so that you guys can kind of take a look at it. So today, oh, this is the back side. What is happening? Not entirely sure why, but my laptop's being funny. So yeah, we're kind of gonna set this up, and I'm gonna show you up close and personal what this guy looks like and stuff. And you're gonna help me set it up. So this is all the hoses and the like the hose work and all of the connections and things, and we'll go over that in just a second. So this right here, and I can't see if you guys can see it or not because OBS keeps minimizing itself for no reason. There we go. I think it's working all right. Okay, so this is the mailbox. This is the front of the mailbox. It's got this absolutely amazing tool rest, and this tool rest is a piece of mild steel. It's just it's got some tubes in the side, and it just fits right in there, so you can pull it out for as long as you need, within reason, because I mean it does have an end. But it's pretty cool. I like that a lot. So this whole thing is made from one single brick, or fire brick, I guess. I think I'm gonna minimize that in hopes that maybe I can actually see what's going on. with OBS since it keeps like hiding itself. So yeah, this guy is made out of a single fire brick. So when I'm talking a fire brick, I'm kind of talking one of these guys. So the three things that I kind of block off my forge with, that's what this guy is made of, just one. And so there's a hole that's kind of drilled in to the front of it and also from the top. And then that hole is actually drilled all the way through to the back. And this right here is a little door. And that way you can kind of open this guy up. There's a little bit of fiber frax, which is a kale wool. It's kind of like asbestos. So you got to line it if you've got a full forge made out of this. And sometimes forges are made out of this. But, so you can take this whole, or I guess this door off and then put a piece of stock all the way through, right? So if I've got something really long, like the piece of Atlantic 33 that we were playing with the other day, we could put this all the way through here and heat it up where we want it, just in the middle. So that is absolutely amazing. That's also what I want to do this afternoon after I finish going over this box. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I will answer anything that you guys are interested in. So the top of this this gas forge has a burner, right? And this is the burner, this is the outer shell of the burner. So these are black iron pipe pieces. So one is attached to the outside casing, and this casing is probably about a 20 gauge sheet steel, and it's got nice black fireproof paint on here, so it's really, really nice. So I love the outside of this burner. So this is a black iron pipe cap, and it's got a hole drilled in it there, and that is so that you can put the actual active fire burner area in there. So this is a self-aspirating forge, and we've talked about those a little bit before, but your burner end, which is over here, gets put inside of this hole that's been drilled here, and you kind of situate it so that the tip of the burner down this hole, right? So there's kind of a mark at the halfway point right here. And so you can kind of use that to measure it a little bit. So there is a set screw at the back. So you can set that and make sure that that stays where you place it, even when you have it sitting upright like so. And so when you have that properly set up, that halfway mark will actually start sucking oxygen and atmosphere inside or in through this T section. So that's how a self-aspirating forge kind of functions. So I'm going to take that and stick it on the floor real fast, and then we're going to kind of look at the burner itself. So this is the burner and the whole hose, and this right here is the burner, and that section goes inside of the black iron pipe casing, and this end attaches to the propane tank itself. So I think I'm going to do this so you guys can kind of maybe see me a little bit. Can you guys see me? I think you can. I hope you can. Let's see. If I make it a little bit bigger, you guys might be able to see it a little better. So we're going to talk a little bit about this guy right here. But okay. trying to take a look at this. It looks like I'm only getting about 7 frames per second, unfortunately. So we might be a little bit on the laggy side, and I apologize for that. My laptop is really funky, actually. Right now, it's starting to get kind of old, and it's not it's not as fast as it used to be. So this is the burner section, the active burner. This is really a nice burner. I was really impressed with this when I first got it. And I did actually get this from the Upper Midwest Blacksmith Association conference about 7 years ago, around the same time that I got that rose, the rose kit. And this one was also given to me, or no, a friend of mine bought this for me. So give me 1 second here real fast. I'm starting to get really hot, so. All right. Let me move the fan so that it's blowing more directly on me. Because like I said, it is super hot. So what this is actually made of, you can kind of see that there's like a little piece of like brass right here at this tip. And what this is it is actually a MIG welder tip, right? So this section here is a piece of 1/8-inch black iron pipe, and it is threaded on the inside to the specific threads for a MIG tip. And a MIG welder, you know, it's the same type of welder that we used when we were making the coal forge. And so, you know, they're relatively common. You can get these pretty much anywhere that sells welding supplies. So this guy, it shoots out just the right mix of oxygen, or I mean of propane, because this is before the oxygen and atmosphere gets involved. But this shoots out the correct mix of propane and at the right pressure. And so, like I said, this is an 1/8-inch black iron pipe piece. And these are a lot less common. You can buy them from supply stores online, but I've never seen one in person. Welcome in, Yankee. We are going over the parts of a gas forge burner right now. It's a little bit too hot for me to turn on the forge today, so I'm hoping that we can turn on the baby forge a little bit and get some more, or some less ambient heat, more pinpoint heat later on. But I figured this was a great opportunity to kind of show you guys what it takes to, you know, have a propane burner. So this right here is a reducing burner, or I mean a reducing elbow. So we've got a male end over here that goes into all of this lovely brass pipe here, and then the other side, it transitions from that brass pipe to the black iron pipe. So these are kind of, we're starting to get into more specialized pieces right here. That is very extremely true. Yeah, it's a little bit too hot to forge today, unfortunately. So this right here is a lovely valve. And this is something that I don't actually have on the big forge back there. And the reason that this is so nice is that you can actually reduce the amount of pressure that you're getting actively without messing with the tank itself. So it's kind of like a double, a double insurance, right? So you've got the regulator over here, which is the direct propane regulator that is in the tank. But you can kind of direct that a little bit easier with the secondary knob here. So that's really cool. It's got a lot of reducers and a lot of like adapters to get to the point where it can actually fit on a propane hose. And this is kind of a smaller propane hose. It does increase the pressure of the propane because it is a little bit smaller, but that's all right. So the reason that we're using the copper here is that it is propane safe. You kind of can't use you can't use compressed air fittings with propane because the propane will start to kind of erode and kind of corrode the pieces. So you have to be really specific and really careful about which pieces that you're actually using. So these are propane grade pieces. So on this end, over here, is a high pressure propane regulator. And this is a really neato thing. These are a little bit more of a specialized piece of equipment. It is, you can't really buy these at normal hardware stores like Lowe's or Home Depot or anything like that. It's more of a thing that you get at like farming supply stores or at places that you can get like welding supplies, and you can also buy these online. But this is a high pressure regulator. It is very similar to the stuff that you're using for if you're using like smokers and things like that. So if you have a location that sells smokers, you might be able to see that. This right here is really nifty. It is a inline pressure regulator, so you can kind of, when you put this on the gas propane tank, you can kind of literally, you can actually see what the pressure is that you are putting into your forge. So that's also really nice. It also helps it helps gauge how much propane you're using and how much is left in the tank. So those are the basic pieces of this propane forge. Now, I lovingly call it the mailbox because that's about the same size, or the size of it, I guess. It's kind of the size of a mailbox. Welcome in, Adam Fighter. Hello, hello. And thank you so much for that follow. I greatly appreciate that. So we're kind of taking a look at this lovely miniature propane forge that I have here. And so the next thing that I think we're going to do is we're going to kind of set this guy up so that I can turn it on, and maybe it won't be as high an ambient temperature. So I need to tighten this set screw. And hand tight is sufficient as long as it's not moving around. It can totally spin if you need it to. Sometimes it makes it a lot easier to put the, or to hook it up if you allow it to spin around and just have the set screw at a finger tight. So this is lovely, and it will run on a normal pig, like a barbecue pig propane tank, for forever. I oftentimes use this when I'm, running low on propane and just don't have money to buy more. So when I'm, got this much left in the bottom of the propane tank, this guy will still run on that. That guy right there will not. So it's awesome. My uncle once took a compressor from an old tiny fridge and a propane tank and made one of those compressed air devices. Yeah. That is really neat. You'd be able to definitely regulate everything with a compressor like that. And get a much better and more precise propane to atmosphere or oxygen mix. This guy is actually pretty good on the mix as long as you keep the MIG tip at the halfway point inside here. So this is beautiful. It is tiny, and it will actually sit on the stand right next to the big forge. So that is so convenient. It's really, really nice. So what I'm gonna do next, before I actually hook it up, is I am going to see about taking the little door off. That one's got a machining screw. It's like a hex head machining screw. So let's see if I can't loosen that up a little bit. Without doing too much damage to it. There we go. I've always been a little bit remiss on my righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I'm not amazingly good with it. I always get confused because what is right at the top is left at the bottom, and what's left at the bottom is right at the top. So I am always incredibly confused. I hope I haven't confused you guys too much. Okay. So then I got to take the little section of, come on. There is a tiny section of refractory at the bottom that I got to get out of here so that I can pull it all the way through, or put a piece of steel all the way through. So this is the refractory. It is a refractory wool. It's very similar to asbestos, but it's for industrial purposes. So you definitely want to, if your forge is made of this stuff, you definitely want to line it. But this amount of it, it's not going to do any harm. Welcome in, Bluesy. Clockwise is close. Yes, I always have to decide whether it's clockwise or not clockwise. Let's see if I can't put this on the stand now. Okay. No, that little flap is going to cause me issues, so I need to take it all the way off. I wish it was at finger tight already, but it's definitely not. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Are you a smithy out open the thing and cut open the thing and re-weld it? I mean, maybe I could do that technically. But this is just a screw, and all I want to do is loosen it up and pull it out so that I can get the back. There we go. Now it's finger tight. Or it was finger tight. Until it got to the steel part. Come on. You can come out. There we go. Trying to also be a little bit careful that I don't like crack the brick inside of here, because I don't really want to expose the outer shell to that heat as much as possible, because it's really thin material. Oh, come on. There it goes. Yay! The door is off now. Okay, so these are going to go over here so that I know exactly where they're at. And now this is going to go on the stand. I'm going to check my comments real fast. And then we're going to hook that up to the propane tank. Hey, Mahalo, welcome in. Okay, it depends, of course, if you are working on gas lines and such. It is lefty, tighty, righty, loosey. Yeah, that is totally the case. When I am working with the propane tank itself, it is reversed, because I have a male hose and a female tank hookup. So it is reversed. You know what? I don't have my adjustable crescent wrench, so I will be right back. I'm sorry. We were working in my bathroom last weekend, and I just did not, or I forgot that my partner was using them in there. So give me half a second. I apologize. You guys apologize for leaving you guys, but I usually have these closer to or at hand when I need to change tanks. But unfortunately, like I said, we were working on our bathroom project, kind of trying to finish that up. We gutted our bathroom about 5 years ago, and we're trying to finish it because we have another major project coming up. It's okay. Streamers run to the bathroom all the time. Yep. Ensure you get both the standard and the metric adjustable wrench. You only brought the standard adjustable hammer. I mean, I did. Normally I only have standard stuff. Although all of my set screws are like my threading. So when I thread nuts and bolts and things like that, I have a threading kit, but it's a metric threading kit because I bought it for threading sword pommels, and those are standard in metric. So interesting. I got a hole in my lip. Alrighty. What do I do with my wrench? It's over here. I'm a smarty. So the first things first, I want to make sure that I turned off the gas. Normally I just leave it on because there isn't a there isn't any leaks. These are pretty good connections when I hook them up. All right. So we're going to take this guy and we're going to move him over there. We're going to take the mailbox's regulator and stick that in instead. See if I can get it in here properly. There we go. Alrighty. So we'll turn on the propane. Make sure that this guy is off. And then we're going to open up the propane tank, or I mean, I guess the other regulator. I think, probably. Okay, yeah, we open the tank. Now we're gonna crack the regulator. And let's see. I want it to be about 40 PS or 45 PSI. And it's kind of low on. I'm going to have to move my sawhorse a little bit so I can read it. Hey, the US has mostly changed to metric actually. It is fully metric. Every standard measurement is defined in metric. That is so true. Why do I have this one? This is the one I want. So true. So my laptop has been acting up. I don't know when the ads are coming. So yeah. I apologize if I don't stop in time for the ads. Where are we at? We are at about where we need to be. I hear some hissing, but I don't think it is hissing from the tank at the moment. It might actually be like a weed whacker or something. It's weird because I'm hearing it through my sound canceling headphones, and if it was just gas, I would not be able to. So I don't know. All right. So the next is we are going to start up this baby forge, and I'll let you see how it functions. Do my very best. All right. Before I do that, though, I do need to. I've got one in this guy, and I want to make sure that I don't accidentally fry. Okay. So now we're going to start the forge. It helps when you turn on the gas. I love doing this in front of you guys. The air is getting up in it. So there we go. Much mo better, maybe. Come on. Maybe you guys will be able to see it from. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. So theoretically, you guys should be able to see this. Let me put this here for just a second so I can crack this in the right direction. And there we go. The mailbox has been lit. So I barely had to crack this guy right here. And it is producing a lot less ambient heat than the main large forge. I can't even feel the ambient heat over here, which I normally can with the big guy. But you guys can. Here, let me move my close-up cam, and then you'll be able to see it a little bit better. You guys will see me kind of moving the camera around a little bit, or crossing in front of the camera. So I'm only going to leave this here for half a second while you kind of take a look at what it looks like in there. So you guys can kind of see that, right? It's baby. It's so adorable. I love it. All right. Let's move this guy back so it's out of the way. So I think we're going to do a little bit more work on upsetting the, see if I can make the other camera focus for me. There we go. That should be good. Alrighty. And I forgot to hit record. I am not a smart person sometimes. There we go. All right, so what I want to do is I want to look back at Atlantic 33 steel, which is this guy right here. We did a little bit of work on it with the coal forge, but it didn't move a lot. So I want to see if I can't get a more intense heat or play with it a little bit further in the mailbox. So we're going to see if we can get it to work. Or what we can. Might actually move this guy completely over here so it's out of the way. That mini forge looks so cool. I think it does too. It's adorable. You should light the coal forge for heat. Exactly. That's kind of like, because we are under a heat advisory right now, that's kind of why I wanted to keep the big forge and the coal forge out of it today. So like I said, we went over the parts of a gas forge, and so now we're gonna see what we can do with the mailbox and the Atlantic 33. I'm not entirely sure how much heat I'm gonna get out of it, but we're gonna see. Evening sandwich. We are back at it. Even though we are under a heat advisory, I'm doing the best I can to stay cool. So we've got the baby forge going. There's a lot less ambient heat generated from it. So, and I'm directly on water, trying to stay hydrated. It's a cool evening again. The temperature in my apartment dropped to 30 degrees. I mean, that's not too bad. It's still a little bit on the warm side, I feel like. But not too bad. Google is not wanting to load my metric to imperial standard conversion. I don't function at all. I don't know why. It's being stupid. All right. So got the door off of the back of the baby porch so that I've shoved the piece of Atlantic 33 all the way through the mailbox. I'm gonna get a decent amount of heat in the center of this bar, and that's exactly where we want that to be because we. Sound is a bit choppy today. There are quite some chunks missing. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. So this right here is going to be the uh, because fan directly blowing directly. Sound canceling. It's very intense today, so that might be why. Maybe I'll move the fan a little bit. This is that matches the same size. Unfortunately, steel is a little too thin in order to make a grip that will match this guy. That stock. I'm going to move the fan. It's not too bad. I still need that air flowing because it is a little on the, Okay. All right, so is that better then? A lot better. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the stock and we're going to take a look at it and see how hot it is, and then we'll put it back in the forge because we're going to lose a lot of that heat by pulling it out. It's only been in there for a few minutes, so let's see what we've got. I think we'll actually get a pretty decent amount of work done. So it looks like heat is a little bit far. Don't put it quite as far on, or when we put it back in. So the thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to take a look at. Oh, I have a whole bunch of random screws I need to stick over here where they go. And so this guy is my press. Obviously, everybody knows about my press. So it has lovely. So I'm going to bring them down one. And let's see if it's enough that I can use the press. This guy is maybe one more. So I think. So let's see. Do you guys actually see? Okay, you can see. Starting to spark. And what that means is that it is up to welding temperature. So it has been quite a while since I've had a piece of stuff at welding temperature. So we'll see. Is my air compressor is plugged in. It is still attached to the compressor. All right. We are ready to go with this. Let's see what we can do. All right, is this too? It is still a little bit too short, right? I'll have to go one more down. Me experimenting. So I think I'm over there so that you guys can kind of see a little bit better what we're doing a little bit closer. All right, so this is so close, or like so wide on the close-up, you can't actually see the top. Let's see if I can't adjust that a little bit. There we go. You should be able to see both the top and the bottom now. Looks like you can. So I'm going to stick our inset over there so you guys can see kind of what's going on with that. Let's see what we can do. All right, so like I said, we're kind of experimenting a little bit. So I need to bring the bottom up a little bit. Something. Let's see what I can do here. It might be more than it might just be. It might be that my back or my hair in the thing. Not sure. I don't know what's going on. It may be that like the microphone is, it might be the sound canceling. It might also just be that it's not seeing the thing right. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Let's see if this works a little bit better this time. All right. Let me move this up a little bit. Sorry about how abrupt that move was. So what I did was I put a different thingy on there, or I guess, what is it called? It is I put a different die on there. We'll see if this works better. And it's still far, so you can kind of see. All right. I guess we're doing this by hand. I'll have to come up with something else to do with that. I do have another top die that I could probably use, but I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Monitor display off. Oh, okay. So we're adjusting the other camera real fast. I want that to move upward. Sorry, I'm kind of struggling today. I do not actually have any other rabbits for the mic, so I apologize for that. I do what I can. I will talk to my partner and see if we can't figure something else out. I really think, though, that it is the transmission between, part of it is the transmission between the receiver and the mic itself. I wonder. There's another thing I can check real fast. All right, so I plugged the guy all the way, or I plugged it all the way into the transmitter, so fingers crossed it was like a little bit on the loose side. Goodness gracious, it's still hot in here. Let me know if that helped. So I have the receiver in my pocket, and there's the lav mic that is attached here. And so when I was looking through some of the previous footage, I had a little bit of transmitter issues, and then the record function of the transmitter was perfect. So I'm not sure if that's the issue. Welcome in, Pyrex. Welcome in. We're still playing with that Atlantic 33. So right now I have a tiny forge going because it's still really, really hot. We're going to try and see if we can forge some. Sounds much better. It might have been that I had that the receiver, it wasn't already or all the way in the receiver. That's probably what was going on there. That's my guess. So we're getting a weird curve and a bulge on that side. So what I'm going to try and do is move that a little bit. I'll put those down there. There we go. So the mini forge is actually getting welding heat temperatures. So I'm actually really happy with it for the moment. All right, so we're back to straight. So now back in the forge we go. Raw. So yes, that is a better color, or a better looking color. Is it moving easier? Pyrex says. It actually is moving a little bit easier. It's starting to bow out though, as opposed to compressing. So I'm going to try and correct that as much as I possibly can. But yeah, we're actually getting up to welding heat in this guy. It has a full-size burner on it, and it is a very, very small hole. So I can get up to forge welding temperatures. I just can't do a lot of stacks in it. So it's working beautifully. It's moving a lot easier, and I'm pretty happy. I was gonna use the press, but it is a little bit, so I need to put a hole halfway between the hole that it's currently on and the next one lower, because it's too thin right now, but it's too wide on the next hole. So we'll see what we can do with that. I don't know that I really want to put in another hole though, because the more holes you put in it, the worse the structural integrity gets. So it's kind of a push and a pull. Everything seems to be doing all right as far as our stream is concerned. It looks like I got an ad coming soon, though. Alrighty. Let me take a look at my cameras real fast. Whoa. Wow, time is flying today. Flying. Alright, unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to kill my, so my OBS, for whatever reason, it just doesn't want to stay as the top tab. I try to have both the OBS and my Twitch monitor the stream at the same time so I can kind of pay attention to the ad timer. But unfortunately, OBS doesn't want to be the top tab for whatever reason. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. We're doing our best today. It's a struggle. I spent an hour in here in the shop earlier today, kind of trying to set everything up. And for whatever reason, OBS was seeing like all of the menus and stuff on the wide cam. So I had to figure out how to turn that off and stuff. So it has been a struggle today. All right. Number 2. All right. Let's do another heat. Now that we're actually, getting heats to do. gorgeous color. All right, and we are getting a lot of movement. You can totally see that here on the anvil. You can kind of see it starting to snake. So what I want to do is straighten it out a little bit. Because if I don't keep it somewhat straight, it's not going to go in the forge anymore because it's barely fitting in there as it is. I do not have good tongs for this job either. There we go. Much mo better. Let's put this back in and get some more heat. We'll straighten it up a little bit further next heat. Yes, this is a Sandwich is asking if this is a bar from the Indiana Convention, and it is. This is the Atlantic 33. That it's the submarine alloy that was designed for the U.S. Navy for making tools in submarines. So this thing is super hard, and you have to get it really, really hot in order to move it at all. And so the mailbox is doing an excellent job heating this piece. It has a full-size burner on it, and it has a very, very small like section that it needs to heat. So we're getting up to forge welding temperatures for any other type of material. And yeah, it's doing pretty well. It's moving pretty easily at this point. I was not leaving it in the forge or in the coal forge long enough to get it to move on Friday. So, you know. But today it seems I am. Plasticky. All right. So we're getting quite a lot of heat. I'm going to put this over here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of straighten this guy out a little bit. We are getting a little bit of a bulge, though, which is really nice. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. So I am taking advantage of the broken face of my anvil to kind of give this piece a little bit of air so that I can unbend it without forging it. That was not smart. I should have had a hold of it before I was doing that. But yeah, it seems to be working all right. We're getting a decent amount of movement. Tongs are getting pretty hot though. Oh, I'm already in my wide. I apparently forgot to put my camera view in the close-up, so I apologize for that. I do not know how long I will be able to go today because it is so hot. The ambient temperature of the mailbox is a lot lower than the ambient temperature of the large forge or even the coal forge, but it is still super hot. Like I said, we are under a heat advisory, so I'm trying my best to keep hydrated. So we're gonna go for as long as I can manage it. So like I said, I have a new video up on YouTube. It is an interview with Nate Weiss, and he is a blacksmith and a metalsmith who works with like with steel as well as semi-precious metals. His work is incredibly intricate. He was one of the presenters at the Indiana Blacksmith Association conference, and I got a chance to talk to him. So the edit is out today. It came out at 10 a.m. and I'm pretty happy with it. I think it turned out pretty well. So next week's video is going to be the overview of the soapstone holder that we made. The day that I made the soapstone holder, the internet cut out on me, and so you guys only got to see a little bit of that guy. So the video for next week is the entire process, and I'm almost done editing that, and that will be out a week from today. After that, I'm debating whether we're going to do the raised smithy sign or if we're going to do the coal forge fabrication as the video for a week from next week. Can you guys see over here? I actually put up our rows on the project wall today. I don't know if you can kind of see it. It's on the edge of the screen. So if I didn't point it out, I don't know if you guys would have been able to see it. All right, we're gonna do another heat. You know what? I should probably do this. That way you guys can see what I'm doing. It's starting to get a little bit thicker. You can kind of see right in there. So that's exciting. We may yet get a hammer eye punch out of this guy. I see it, yeah. You can totally see that there's a bulge growing there. I feel like by the end of the stream on Friday, you really couldn't see any of the movement. It was so minuscule, but now you can actually start to see that fattening out. And I'm really excited. Where did I put that? I put it over here. Well, there goes my water. So I'm going to put this over here so that I can kind of reference it as we go. I'll put these guys away. And that guy can live down there for the moment. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's working. So at some point, I will be able to start forging down one of the ends of this bar into more of a point. So then I can forge the entire thing into a long hammer eye drift. So right now, instead of forging, we're doing a little bit more processing of metal. Seems to be doing pretty well, though. That did not help you guys hear me, you know, when my apron string hits the microphone. I apologize for that. All right, so let's try some more. I need to put it back in the forge. It's still a little bit on the cold side, I think. Let's do that. I'm trying. What? See what you're doing? Total spoiler. Yeah, I try to spoil what I'm trying to do. It's not supposed to be a surprise for you guys for the most part, but you know, sometimes it is. And I do have my partner told me that I should totally do a video where I just start forging something and I don't actually talk about it, and then I let you guys kind of guess what the project is as I keep going on it. And so then I will, like, you know, talk about the actual processes, but I won't actually talk about what I'm going to make as the end product. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I do that? Would that be fun? Because then you guys could spend the entire stream guessing and talking what you guys think about it, or what you guys think it is. Save propane. Use heat from the dashboard of my car. It feels like hot enough to melt steel. I'm sure it does, man. The dashboard of my car is stupid hot. I mean, right now it's stupid hot in here. That's why I'm using the baby forge instead of the big one. I was hoping that there wouldn't be as much ambient heat transfer, because it is so little. But I mean, it is slowly starting to filter this direction. So it is getting really, really hot, and there will be a time where I will have to end the stream, and it will probably be sooner than later. We'll probably be ending the stream a little bit early, just because I am sweating so badly right now, and it's going to be hard to keep hydrated. Mystery Forging Theater 3000, yes. I will have to drop out again, unfortunately. Have fun and see you. Bye, Sandwich. Have a good rest of your night, and have a good day tomorrow as well. I'll see you later. Exciting, exciting. Yeah, I think that might be a fun thing to do. Just like start forging something and not tell you what it is. Then I can, like, as the title, we can be like mystery forging. Try and guess what I'm making. The one true Mexican. Welcome in. I think I missed your username with your first comment. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're here today. All right, let's do another heat. We'll see how much more movement we can get before I have to end the stream. Maxon. I have no idea why I read that as Mexican. It's Maxon. I'm sorry about that. right. Gotta start straightening it out again. This guy's another biggin. Gotta be careful I don't set my pants on fire. I'm trying not to lie, right? I do my best. So yeah, starting to get tired and hot. So we will probably do a couple more heats and I will probably have to end the stream. Starting to feel, I'm really starting to feel the heat. So I apologize for the ending of the stream early, but I'm sure you guys can understand. So I'm gonna so in my area, the heat tends to be really, all right, let me think, gather my thoughts. So in this area, it tends to get really, really hot for long periods of time. And because of that, it is very difficult for me to come out here and forge because the forge always adds extra heat to the atmosphere. And I've only got one fan right now. So my plan is to do shorter streams. So I will continue to start at 2:30 Eastern, but we will probably be forging for as long as I can manage it. And then I just need to play it by ear so that I can keep safe and not kill my kidneys. So like I said, I'll probably do like 1 or 2 more heats and we'll probably end for the day, but I will be back on Friday and we'll probably do another short stream, but I will, I'll do my best. Next week, we're supposed to cool down for a little bit. We've got a rainstorm this weekend. So hopefully we'll be able to stream for a little bit longer next week. I think as long as it's hot like this with the heat advisories, we're going to keep on going with the mailbox just because it is going to take longer to heat up the area. Oh, standing right next to the fan so that it's blowing on me feels really good. All right, let's do another heat. Yeah. It's getting shorter and it's getting thicker. And that's exactly what we want. Try to strain it out a little bit as we go, every time. So yeah, we are getting thicker. And it's not just because it's curving. Add a mister to the fan. Yeah, it would definitely, a mister would definitely start rusting everything. I try to keep it as low humidity as possible in here. And there is nothing I can really do about the ambient air. But I can tell you that this is kind of what starts happening to tools when they get wet over time with the humidity in the air. They start to get a surface rust patina on them, and you have to kind of take that off every so often. So I do what I can. I need to get another fan, like another industrial fan. But right now we've been having to purchase a lot of stuff and for other projects and other things that are, cooking. And so I just haven't been able to save up for a second fan yet. It will happen, but it will probably take me maybe a month. So I think I'm going to do one more heat and then I'm probably going to end the stream. I apologize for how short it is, but I really need to make sure that I can stay hydrated and so that I'm not exhausting myself or giving myself a heat stroke. So yeah. If you guys have any ideas for who you want to raid, let me know. Otherwise, I will find somebody. Maybe we'll find somebody new. So yesterday, I had the misfortune of losing power for an hour and a half in the middle of the day. And boy, did it get hot in my house. They restored it. So we've got AC again, but for a while there, I was afraid that I was going to have to leave the house and take the cat with me. Alrighty, let's get this last heat in here. Let's see about making sure I've got a recording of it, though. I have 5 minutes left on this clip. It should be good. Alright. Last heat of the day. Getting a lot of bending. But that's kind of just been the case all day. Alrighty. I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I think I need to go into the AC. My cat sleeps on a heat pad all day. I would love if I turned off the AC. I can imagine. Cats like the warmth. They really do. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Sorry the stream is so short. Whew. Let's see, who's on? Looks like we get to find someone new. Who all is streaming right now? That's a 3D printer. Don't know what that one is. Ooh. Some crochet. That's always fun. 3D printing, more crochet. Building an outdoor shower. That's interesting. Ooh, Superman wood carving. How about that? Let's do some wood carving. You guys good with wood carving? I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Let's see if it's going to work today. Thank you all for joining me.